Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today a bit more fun video, kind of casual, maybe light-hearted, but at the same time maybe some use might come out of it. So I saw this thread, controversial opinion, 5 Deathless champions are an amazing quest team that is 5 years outdated. Yeah, that's kind of true, because today we don't really have questing teams. Like, you know, whenever we do any type of content, we have like very specific things that we are looking for. When we do the story content, it's typically class based or tag based, and all these champions would have different classes and tags, or you know, it's just non-existent content for this team, because realistically these are an amazing questing team. If you consider the amount of utilities, immunities, and so on and so forth that they cover, it's great. There is plenty of healing in between Thanos Guillotine and Deathless King Groot. There is, you know, a ton of debuffs, there's a ton of buffs, immunity to reverse controls, you know, some power control, you know, heal reversal, everything you would just about want in a game from a team. And that kind of showed, because the Deathless Necropolis run was amazing, to a point where I kind of want to go back in again, just for the sake of it, do another path, maybe save myself some revives in the final boss, or get some extra practice for it. But I'm quite sure, you know, you can quite easily do at least a couple more paths with the Deathless team in like sub 10 revives. So might do that for fun. But today we're going to be ranking these champions from worst to best. So what I think is by far and away the worst Deathless champion right now, and that is Deathless Vision. Let's face it, even synergized, he's just kind of alright. Like, his power control is quite trash, his damage is extremely trash, and with full synergy team, his damage is okay, but, you know, not that much gets improved afterwards. Now, it is a lot better when we can get those 18 Furies up in like a longer fight, but never really goes to like a very good level, I would say. And yeah, so with the 18 Furies, which is his absolute max, he can put up numbers. Okay, so let's get that done. Let's get some more of this. We have 13 Furies here. As we can see, you can pretty much maintain it all the time, those Furies, with the synergies. And, you know, at this point, he's starting to do good damage output. So it's not bad. Let's get final ones. I didn't even get to do like a full ramp up in this fight. All of the champions used, by the way, are 7-star rank 2s, aside from the Deathless Thanos, who's 7-star rank 3. So here we go. 1 minute 17. With full set of synergy teams, you could argue I might have played it better and stuff like that, but that's not great. With like a full team helping you out, it's just not a great score or time. Then, what I believe is the second worst Deathless champion, I think it's Deathless King Groot. Again, I think for Deathless champion, and in many cases, I don't think they really made the Deathless champions better. They kind of improved in them in very few areas, and then in plenty of areas, they just kind of became worse. And that's definitely the case with Deathless Vision. They ultimately reduced his power gain in order to improve his damage, but in reality, his damage was still absolutely garbage, arguably worse, or provedly worse than the OG Visions, and his power control is garbage, and the champion ended up being quite garbage. Deathless King Groot, I wouldn't put it exactly like that, but still, they took a champion that was known for fairly bad damage output and great healing, and they made it into a champion that has slightly better damage output and significantly worse healing. And it's just not quite good enough for this game. Again, in questing, synergized up and all that, you know, he's definitely better than Deathless Vision. He has, you know, shrug off ability, access to arm break, access still to regen, not as potent. You know, some decent damage, especially later down the line. But the damage is not good enough for him to be in meaningful spots for Cosmic Champions. And the regen isn't quite what it used to be, so it kind of feels underwhelming and it's just not as good as it used to be. Additionally, you know, swapping Poison for Incinerate arguably might also be a downgrade. So, yeah, I don't think he's like, if I would have a 7-star King Groot and the 7-star Deathless King Groot, I'm not even sure which one I'd pick. But in the context of this video, he's better than Vision, but that's about it. Now I'm moving on to the third best, the middle of the pack Deathless champion. I would nominate Deathless Guillotine. I think in shorter form content, she would be the second best, potentially. When synergized up, man, she's amazing. Like, when synergized up for a ton of things, she would be just great. Look at this in a second. We're going to get Nullify buff. We're going to apply Neutralize. Oh, right. I forgot about. We're going to utilize that. They even took this, Juggies. Okay. Come on, throw it. Throw it. Doesn't want to throw it. But yeah, you know, with that Neutralize, especially when synergized up, and the Nullification, and the Degens, and the regen. So this is not the best fight, because I'm not even critting particularly much. But she also has solid healing in between all of this. I think she's overall, yeah, definitely better than King Groot. And I always like Guillotine's animations as well. There's something very satisfying with swinging that huge sword. So yeah, at this point I'd put Deathless Guillotine in spot number 3. She, in my opinion, is also somebody that can potentially already be like worth ranking up for her own merits rather than because you have to for some Deathless challenge. Quite like her. I think she's quite okay. I wouldn't put her anywhere near the top Mystic top 10, but I have seen, you know, some people with rank 3 Deathless Guillotines absolutely loving her, having time of her life, because when you do get, you know, some decent crit RNG, she can put up some crazy numbers, and she's like, you know, very simple, and what she does quite well. That heal reversal is not bad at all, and, you know, access to degens and fairly significant amounts of dot. Not awful. Plus regen on her sig. Next up, what was the best Deathless champion until Thanos came out, I'd say is Deathless She-Hulk. I think there's hardly any doubt that she is the better of the Deathless bunch, aside from Thanos. I still maintain the argument that OG She-Hulk is better champion, or at the very least would be if Kabam gave her kind of like the quality of life improvements that we received with Deathless She-Hulk. Like, extend the duration of, you know, She-Hulk's passive furies to match the duration of these traumas. Like, change her ramp up percentages to match the ones of Deathless She-Hulk, and stop She-Hulk's passive furies during strikers, and She-Hulk would be the better champion. So, in my opinion, all these quote-unquote improvements, I think, again, is just jiggling things out about and ultimately making her worse. Having a champion to rely on debuffs over passives, you know, is inherently worse. I think that the slow mechanic is better than the fear mechanic, personally. I prefer having Petrify on level 2 to control everything over having, you know, 2 different specials for power and regen control. But still, at heart, she feels like She-Hulk. She's amazing for Everest content. I think everybody just about fell in love with her in like the Everest content. And while she's evidently not as fast as some of the other Deathless champions and somewhat of a shorter fight format, I think her utility is the best of the champions that we have discussed so far, still. And I do think that her, damage ramp up potential is the one that held the most value so far. And she is quite convincingly the best Deathless champion, aside from, quite obviously, the Daddy Thanos. The Daddy Thanos is just quite awesome. So, quite simple here. Parry, heavy, smack the storm about, smack her about some more, and then some more, and then counter punch everything. And I think at this point, I'm not even going to fully ramp her. I do want to counter punch. And this is Thanos, like, without full ramp up. And Thanos obviously has the most defensive potential as well. And he has the most agility. I think Thanos is obviously a very, very, very good champion. Thanos is he's gonna get a standalone video from me. I do think he's a very solid addition to the game. I also think a lot of people do not understand still the defensive threat Thanos possesses. And, unsurprisingly, he's also the fastest one here. Right. So yeah, Deathless Thanos is obviously the best Deathless champion. Let me know what you guys think about the ranking of the Deathless, as well as what do you guys think about them as a questing team and us not really having like any piece of content used to use, because it in my opinion shows that something is a bit wrong with the game. Like, we have this hyper specific set of nodes or characterization of the nodes where everything has to be like, based on a single class or based on, being able to deal with this one or other things. And we do not have anything remotely similar to casual like Act 6 experience, where you had to like look at every fight and you needed different piece of utility, and you kind of brought in the teams that, covered the most of what you typically saw and stuff. Obviously, you might just say the game's moved past that. But I do personally think that the Necropolis run kind of proved that there is a lot of enjoyment into having, these type of quests, these type of fights, where every fight is individual, unique. And I kind of wish we had more of that. So, let me know what you think, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye-bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all